want you to picture something. There's a man. He's a king. He's not a good king, but he's a king. And this king is facing pure destruction from two neighboring kingdoms. Facing impending doom, King Ahaz is understandably shaking in his boots. God, seeing Ahaz all out of sorts, he sends him a prophet, the prophet Isaiah. Isaiah delivers to King Ahaz a sign to look for. The New Testament writer Matthew records the sign Isaiah gives Ahaz as a messianic prophecy concerning Jesus. The sign, according to Matthew, is this: Now all this was done, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which being interpreted is God with us. This single verse has been used for nearly 2,000 years as supposed proof that the Hebrew Bible predicts the virgin birth of Jesus. But when we examine this verse in its original Hebrew, in its historical setting, and in its full literary context, a very different picture emerges. Here are the three main things that we will tackle with this verse in Isaiah. What was its original historical setting? What does Isaiah 7:14 actually say in Hebrew? And number 3, how does Matthew change its meaning? Let us now turn to the Hebrew itself. Isaiah 7:14 reads, Hine ha'almah hara v'yoledet ben. So it properly reads, Therefore the Lord, of his own, shall give you a sign. Behold, the young woman is with child, and she shall bear a son, and she shall call his name Emmanuel. The key word in the Jewish text is Almah. Almah means young woman. Almah does not mean, nor has it ever meant, virgin. It means a young woman of marriageable age. The proper Hebrew word for virgin is Betulah. That word appears throughout the Hebrew Bible when virginity is actually being discussed. Example, Genesis 24:16. In speaking about Rebekah, and the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin, Betulah. Neither had any man known her. Isaiah does not use that word here, and Almah simply means a young woman of marriageable age. It carries no biological claim of sexual inexperience. The sleight of hand by the corrupter of Matthew occurs in the Greek mistranslation of this verse. The Septuagint, the Greek translation later used by the Church, chose the Greek word parthenos, which can mean virgin, but that translation choice already reflects interpretive bias, not grammatical necessity. So from the start, the virgin claim does not come from Hebrew. It comes from Greek reinterpretation. This, of course, is by design by the Church, and the deeper we go, the more obvious that becomes. Isaiah chapter 7 takes place during a real, datable political crisis in the 8th century BC. The king of Judah at the time, Ahaz, has a problem. Aram and the 10 tribes of Israel in the north are going to war with Judah. Well, Ahaz is terrified. The nation is on the brink of war. Isaiah delivers a message from God of reassurance to Ahaz, not to predict a distant messianic figure hundreds of years in the future, but to speak directly to this immediate crisis. And this is where Isaiah 7:14 appears. Now, notice that the name of the child is Emmanuel, meaning God is with us. This is a huge detail, as his name is part of God's comfort to Ahaz as he faces this overwhelming army. The significance of the name is announced to these two enemy kingdoms as a powerful declaration by the prophet in Isaiah 8:10. Take counsel and it will be foiled. Speak a word and it will not succeed. For God is with us, Emmanuel. The name Emmanuel God with us, now starts making more sense being attached to its actual story than to Jesus, now that we are understanding the historical setting in Isaiah 7. Let us now tackle a landmine in this whole clam by Matthew. The gap between this prophecy given and the birth of Jesus Christ is 700 years. This is a huge problem for the messianic claim in Matthew, as this sign must function within the lifetime of Ahaz. Why? Because it is a sign of that he will have victory over these two kings and kingdoms. Where's the proof? Easy. If we keep reading, we will see that there is more to this sign that Ahaz will look for concerning this child. God actually gives Ahaz a timeline of when the destruction of these kingdoms will happen. 2 verses down in Isaiah 7:15-16. Cream and honey, he, Emmanuel, shall eat, when he knows to reject bad and choose good. For when the lad does not yet know to reject bad and choose good, the land whose two kings you dread shall be abandoned. This sign in Isaiah 7, without doubt, cannot be about Jesus. In Isaiah 7:16, the child would have to be young enough to still eat curds and honey, but old enough to understand the moral choice of refusing the evil and choosing the good, indicating a toddler or preschooler, roughly 2 to 3 years old, before the two dreaded kings would be gone, fulfilling the immediate sign for King Ahaz. A sign that occurs 700 years later would have no meaning to Ahaz, no political value, and no psychological reassurance in the middle of a military crisis. This is why the early church, through the corruption of Matthew, gives the convenient verse of Isaiah 7:14, which they can corrupt to supply the deification of Christ, and doesn't dare touch the continuation of the sign in verse 16. Because the sign is not only clearly time-bound and intended as an immediate prophecy, but its fulfillment is carried forward and completed in the following chapters of Isaiah. These kingdoms were destroyed in the days of Ahaz, just as Isaiah foretold, and they never rose again. So by the time Jesus lived in the 1st century AD, they had already been absent from the world map for nearly 700 years. The time-limited sign, historical circumstances, and immediate fulfillment of Isaiah 7:16 utterly dismantle Matthew's attempt to repurpose this prophecy for the virgin birth narrative. Now we turn to the Gospel of Matthew. Matthew 1:23 quotes Isaiah 7:14 and says, "All this took place to fulfill what the Lord had spoken by the prophet. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son." There are 3 serious academic problems here. 1. Matthew removes the historical context. Matthew disconnects Isaiah's words from King Ahaz from the military crisis and from the northern kingdoms entirely. 2. Matthew changes the meaning of the sign. What was originally a political, time-bound sign becomes a cosmic, supernatural prediction. 3. Matthew depends on the Greek mistranslation. The entire virgin birth doctrine rests not on Hebrew Isaiah, but on the Greek Septuagint's interpretive rendering of Almah as Parthenos. This is not how prophecy works in the Hebrew Bible. This is retroactive reinterpretation. Let's summarize the contradictions. The sign was given to Ahaz, not to future readers. The time frame is immediate, not messianic. The Hebrew says young woman, not virgin. The child is already conceived, not miraculously conceived. The prophecy is fulfilled within a few years, not centuries. If Isaiah 7:14 were about Jesus, the prophecy would fail as a sign, fail as a message, and fail as a historical communication. Isaiah 7:14 is one of the clearest examples in Scripture of how later theology can override original meaning. When we return to the Hebrew language, the historical setting, the literary flow of the chapter, and the direct timeline of the prophecy, we discover that Isaiah was not predicting a virgin birth. He was speaking to a frightened king in a moment of political crisis, and that prophecy was fulfilled in his lifetime. Thank you everyone for watching this very first episode. Please consider liking, sharing, and subscribe to the channel, as every little bit helps.